Right. I'm not a doctor, so I want to like come out and be like, yo, you don't need medication. Some do, some don't. But I've seen people beat it without it. I've seen people beat it with it. It just matters how deep you are into your suffering.
Well, again, it's out of I'm in medicine, but not in this arena. I'm in cardiology.
It's like psychiatric. I'm not a psychiatrist.
Yeah. So this is my opinion on that whole thing. I think there's probably a lot we still don't truly understand from a medical standpoint with this. And it's more than just the physical. There's obviously some spiritual and psychological aspect of it. Now, the general medicine is that the only difference between medicine and poison, you guys ready for this? I'm going to repeat this 3 times. The only difference between medicine and poison is the dosage.
That makes sense.
The dosage and the combination, the dosage. Hear what I just said. So I always hate this. I get this resistance all the time. This certain medicine I'm just going to go to my deathbed saying it does help you. But the wrong dose, or you get the wrong time, or the wrong combination will be deadly.
Yes.
Okay. Can we all just agree that baby aspirin is good for you? I mean, let's just say that. Even if you don't take it.
Well,
there's a reason called baby aspirin. But if I give you 3 bottles of baby aspirin and you take it all within 10 minutes, you're gonna bleed out and die. So I just think that I'm assuming hopefully some of those meds are helping to an extent, but it's not the answer because something else.
You gotta find the root of the cause.
Yes, thank you.
That's the thing.
So it's a combination. I think it's a combination.
It's like when we talk about addiction, is like the addiction is just a symptom.
Yes.
That's not the root of what's happening. So I did drugs because I wanted to escape my life. I was unhappy with my life. Yeah. I was feeling like I was worthless. I had no value in this world. So this was taking me away from that. By doing the drugs, all those problems.
Well, you also had the disadvantage of an uncle, someone you trust, who's supposed to...
Yeah, he put me onto the drugs.
Yes,
exactly. He was like, hey, this is what you should be doing. Instead of investing my money and instead of learning life skills, I'm learning survival skills.
Right. And I know people like to say, well, become an adult, and I don't want to blame your biological father for this, but maybe, just maybe, if he was there and was a real father, maybe you'd be better off, right? You could say that.
You could say that,
yeah.
You never know what happens in life. I always look at it as life is happening for us, not to us, so I think I went through that to be able to help people today.
True.
And that's what I look at, so sometimes...
So it's your purpose, maybe it's your purpose in the world is to help the other. So you think any other cases you came across recently?
There's a few
that's not schizophrenia, maybe something else.
This one was kind of schizophrenia, and I'll tell you...
Any crack cocaine story or just alcohol? Maybe, let's do alcohol because, let's be honest, a lot of it's drink. So, and there's different degrees of alcoholism, It's accepted, which I like to think I'm in that category. But let's go to like a crazy one. Like a guy, maybe he's functioning, he works, but then he's really effed up.
Well, there is a guy that does that. I think we'll talk about in the 3rd story because he's going to go into our next episode with that guy.
Oh, true.
That guy has that.
So let me think. Oh, well, I guess it's legal now, but I was going to say marijuana, but shroom. How about shroom? Any shrooms?
I've done shrooms. That's one thing I haven't. I haven't found anybody where I've run into that shrooms. It's more like heroin. It's more cocaine, crack, meth. Meth is a whole.
Let's do that.
Well, meth story. This one I just have. So
let's.
This guy was...
Give us a good story with
this guy's a CPA.
No.
Yes.
And it's tax season, by the way, people. Oh, your taxes due Friday, just in case you forget. Perfect. See, look at you.
So he was a CPA. We went to his house, and he was off the rails. And he was left and right. He was all over the place. He was digging through the pipes and thinking the IRS was chasing him. So he was hiding his money in the pipes underneath in the basement.
And he's a CPA.
He's a CPA. He took the money he has in his house that he has like saved up, whatever he does, and he cut through the pipes, put the money in the pipes, welded the pipes back together.
We need to make sure after we're done recording, off the air, let me know this guy's name. I want to make sure he was the guy who did my taxes 2 years ago because I got audited. No, I'm just kidding. I did get audited, but I don't think it was him. Anyway, so wow, he hit it in the pipes.
Yeah, and then he was thinking people were in the walls.
So first question I have is, who put in the call? His wife?
His mother.
His mother.
He lived with his mother, so he has, when you do meth, I've read I did it maybe 3 times in my life, and it made me insanely crazy quick, because one, you never sleep. Imagine coffee times 100. and you're not sleeping,
You're killing me, man. I make coffee in 24 hours. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Coffee, exactly.
Right,
Coffee.
but not as time 100, you're saying?
Yeah, it's times 100. So when you do meth, you don't sleep, you don't eat, you're up 24 hours a day, and all you're doing is you're just wired. I guess it's good to give someone meth so they can vacuum your house, but after that, was it good for, right?
Your heart start racing and stuff?
Yeah, it races, and your mind is, what happens is when you don't sleep and you don't get that sleep from the meth, you start hallucinating. You start thinking things are there that are not there. There was a story one time of a couple in Ohio. They died because they were stuck in their car, right?
Yeah.
In the cold. They called the cops. Hey, listen, we can't get out. We don't know what's going on. We have no gas. All right, stay over here. We'll get to you.
Yes.
Now, when they were on meth, so they believed somebody was chasing them. And that was in their car, climbing on the roof of their car. They left the car and froze to death.
But there was no one chasing them.
There's no one chasing them but the meth, because they're up for 2-3 days straight, thinking that there's people hallucinating, just trying to come and get them, that they left their car. They had a little bit of gas, they had heat in the car, they would have found, the cops would have found them. They found them, but they were dead in the street.
Do you happen to know if maybe it's just from sleep deprivation? You haven't so much that you just thought.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Your mind goes crazy.
Yeah, the meth is keeping you up from sleeping.
Yeah.
It's wiring you. So I was on there's a TV show, it was like one of those prison shows you watch on like A&E, and the guy who did meth said, if you want to know about meth, it's the quickest rocket ship to hell.
The quickest rocket ship to hell.
That's if you want.
That's meth.
Now, when I heard that, I was like,
you might to patent that on a T-shirt or something.
Truthfully, they need that, because literally
we should post that later.
That literally
Meth is the
quickest rocket ship to hell. Literally, it is, because I did it 3 times.
You have to credit that guy.
Once I heard that, I was like, man, that's what, every time I think of meth, that's what I think of. And then I see the people. You're so fast paced, and you're crazy. You're thinking everything is chasing you. You think people in the walls.
Yeah.
You think everybody's against you. You don't trust nobody. Everything is against you. And think about living like that. Like if you're in that like psychotic break, what if you don't ever come out of it?
Wow, I can't.
Because I had one psychotic break when I was before I got clean. I did coke, and then I did sleeping pills. I took 14 of them, and I went into that kind of a state. It was like a psychotic break. I thought I thought I was in hell. I thought I died when I was in the hospital. I thought I was dead, and that I died.
It's really a miracle that you're sitting here right now.
Yeah, that's
not just sitting here, but you're actually like
I had conscious thoughts
and able to do 12 episode podcast that would, strong messages. You're not just sitting here.
Yeah, I'm not just sitting here just saying nothing. The experiences I went through were crazy. Yeah. And the fact that I'm still standing here shows that the life happens for us, not to us, meaning that there's always a lesson to be learned, but the question is, are you able to ask that question to yourself? Yeah. You have to understand that anything you ask for in life, let's say you're spiritual, you pray to God for strength, you pray to listen, you pray for communication, you pray to beat fear. How do you think that happens? The guy's just going to be like, all right, you don't have fear more. You're going to snap his finger. No, what he's going to do is he'll bring people that are going to test you to be able to get better at that. So if I need strength, or I need patience, or I say I want to be calm in stressful situations, I'm going to be put in stressful situations where I need to teach, I have to learn how to be calm. And then that's where you get better. So if you want strength, God's going to put you in a position where you have to be strong.
Yes.
So when you're praying and you're doing these things, remember that the things we ask for, our lessons are the people. Our classroom is this world. So everything we're learning to be a better version of myself, like when I have my broken bones. I'm not saying, oh my God, why me? I'm saying, thank you for fixing my broken pieces and making them stronger.
Yes.
So the world, when we are going through something, let yourself heal. Don't keep pushing. Sit back and like you say, rest, take it easy, because how is the world supposed to make the broken pieces stronger if you don't let yourself relax and get to healing?
Yeah, forest fire, it's to get rid of all the weak ones and then they grow back stronger, right?
Yeah.
It's just the cycle of nature.
The cycle of nature, exactly. So in that, when I saw that person, he was all over the place. I think he was going to an inpatient. It's like inpatient/outpatient. So he was going inpatient 6 months, outpatient 6 months. Yeah. When we came to the door, me and my partner, he was like, yo, you're the guy who's supposed to take me there? Those guys, those people that are in the background, they're in the weeds, they're over there, they'll watch me. I was like, yeah. So that's how they think. They think everybody's chasing them. So they're all over the place. He was smoking a cigarette. He put the cigarette out on the floor. He walked up the stairs, went down the stairs, went to the left, grabbed some seal, came back to it, went back up the stairs. Right. It's like, that's how they act when you're on meth. It's like me speaking fast like I am. Imagine me speaking 20 times faster. Yeah. And move it 20 times. It's like the Flash cleaning his house. You know what I mean?
I love that show, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good
Gary
show.
Allen. Yeah.
And that's what it's like on meth all the time. And think about your brain. It can't do that. Like if you overload the brain like that, that's where psychosis happens.
Yes.
Because I remember when I did crack cocaine and all this stuff, I would get very paranoid. Like things were chasing me.
Yes.
And that's it being in that state. So when you're doing the drugs and you're putting the poison in your mind, you're letting something else take over. You have no control. Now you're telling your mind, be my master, I'm willing to be your servant.
Yeah, you're becoming something you don't want.
Yeah, that's what happens when people do drugs. It's not the drugs it's not the people when people are on drugs and they do really messed up things to people. Like, oh my God, how could you do that to me? It's not him doing it. It's the drug doing it. It has control. When you do heroin, when you do meth, when you do any of these things.
Yeah.
It's all the drug controlling them. And it's hard to let go of that drug. That's the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume they build a certain dependency on it.
Exactly, just like the medication.
Yes.
When you're on medication, you take oxy to feel because my arm hurts. I'm telling myself when I...
Because you want to get rid of that pain, so...
Yeah.
At any cost, I guess.
Yeah. And what happens when you go towards comfort? You don't grow. When you go towards pain, that's where growth happens.
Oh, man. I will be right back in a few minutes. Not a few minutes, sorry, a few seconds. Just a little quick words. This is Humble Beginnings with the Priest. Get Brian on Instagram.
At humble_beginnings_1279.
Facebook.
Humble Beginnings with B Priest.
Email address.
humblebeginnings1279@gmail.com.
You could listen to the podcast on
iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Spreaker. SPREAKER.
All right, we're back. So I know you got one last story you want to get into, which will lead us into the teaser for next week's episode. But before we get into that, let's just, man, it's a beautiful day, right? Nice and sunny, getting warmer.
Yeah, it is. It's actually, that's what we say. What's cool about having, what I used to do is when it was nice like this, where I live, is I would go like to this museum and it has like all these outside, had the grass or the green, you know what I mean? I like just the nature, the blue sky.
Yeah.
Made me feel really happy. That's why I like the sun. The sun just builds like, it helps you when you have those dark days, you know what I mean?
Did you notice? I think they call them cherry blossom. They're blossoming. Like they come like this right when spring starts. It's just all like the trees with all the like white flowers. They come out for a few days, and then you miss it. People travel all over the world to Washington D.C. because that's what it's known for that. But we have them on Long Island too. Like I'm driving around, I'm like, this is one of the happiest like weeks of my life because I know it's spring. I'm actually a spring baby myself, and also just my sweet bolt. I know you're gonna be sidelined, but I'm actually excited because it's exactly 21 days of 3 weeks until our kickball league, LI Kick. They're starting a new league in Huntington, kickball.
Two of them, no. Huntington, Sound Beach, or...
well, this one in Long Beach on
Long
Wednesdays.
Beach.
Yeah, I can't do Wednesdays. I work in Brooklyn till... I'll never make it through the Belt. I call it the Belt parking lot. But I'm excited about Huntington because I'm going to go in there and just pretend like I don't know anyone. Even though I have to be in the league. It's like starting over, you know. Look, I've been in this league for like 8 years now, so it's kind of nice to expand out to another...
Yeah, well, if you looked at like at LI Kick, they have it on Facebook. You see other people posting. It's a lot of new people that I don't even know. They're basically saying, "Hey, listen, I'm new to this. Just joined for Huntington."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's really what it's about.
Yeah. It's a little uncomfortable because I'm like, I have my Glencoe, my Freeport crew. Like, I could just stay in that same group, but like, it's not like I'm not losing my friends I have now. It's just like I'll meet new people. I'm not gonna walk in and like, oh yeah, I played, this amount of game in the league. I'm just gonna walk in and like, a new guy would tell me how to play. I'll just shut up and it's like, oh okay. That's the strategy,
Well, like I always say, you can learn from someone that's day one, and you can learn from a CEO.
I 100% agree with that.
Truly, that's why I like it. You can always learn something from anybody. It's because you're a CEO doesn't mean you ain't got nothing to learn. And just because you're a one-day person at kickball or whatever you're in life, it doesn't mean they don't have something to teach you.
Yes, because at some point, no matter how successful you are, at some point, that successful person started out somewhere. And by the way, success is defined different ways too. So we'll get into that at a different time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right, so the last case you want to talk about, I guess you just lead off. We'll just go ahead and talk about it.
Well, the last case was a person that was around, I think he was 63. He got a criminal past. He loved being a criminal. He didn't really have no job. It was all about criminal enterprise. That's how he made his money.
What did he do?
I don't know. He didn't really get into details of what his criminal history, but he said he ran with the Gambinos. He ran with all those
Wow.
type of crowd back in the day. I've been a few people that ran with like the old school mafia.
Do not
guys.
mention his name because
Oh, no.
they'll put a hit on us. He's like, I'm actually like, I'm